Greetings, every peoples! Your cult of personality here. ToonKritic's the name, Toon is the name of my game, and welcome back to the Sketchpad, my little interview show where I interview voice actors, artists, animators, whoever that says yes to me when I throw them an email. Literally, I just throw anyone an email. Maybe we get somebody good, maybe we don't. But today, I bring to you another voice actor from the My Little Pony series. You may know him as the voice of Timber Spruce in the Legend of Everfree movie. Ladies and gentlemen, fellas and gentlecolts, I give to you Mr. Brian Doe.
Hello! Was that okay? I don't know.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Can't complain.
For those listening, this is apparently his first ever interview, so don't worry. I will take this slow. I will take this gentle. We'll all have a good time.
And
Everything
I'm
will be all
absolutely
right.
terrified, yes.
So, I actually looked up your IMDb page. You have quite a few live-action roles, but only make maybe 2 voiceover roles, I've noticed, besides My Little Pony. I believe you voiced in a Barbie movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of my first voice jobs, actually, I think. Yeah, that was like my third one.
So, what got you into voice acting? What essentially was your big break? I'm assuming besides, like, My Little Pony.
Well, right. It was interesting because I broke into the voice acting scene first before I did live action. Which a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people are really surprised by. I found just being in the industry and here in Vancouver. I loved cartoons when I was a kid, and I think that's usually how it starts for everyone. And I loved cartoons and found out that they weren't actually computer generated voices. When I was a kid, I thought that the characters lived inside my TV, and at one point I did have an impulse to break the TV open to meet my favorite characters. That actually happened. I never did it, but I had the impulse to. And I later learned that this was actually a career when I was about 13 or 14 years old, thanks to the internet. And I ended up, because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up when I was a kid. And that was always a common question that we were asked, was like, well, what do you want to be when I grow up? And everyone's like, I want to be a firefighter or whatever. And I never knew. And eventually I came across voice acting because of my love for cartoons. And I started doing research online and like, what can I do to make this a reality at age like 13 or 14? And I found out by luck, because I didn't have any money to take classes when I was a kid. I just practiced on my own in my parents' basement.
Self-taught.
Like a $25 microphone and a free recording software. That's what I did. And I was lucky enough, at one point, an agent came to my high school and said to us, and she was looking to like expand her like kids division for film and TV. And after the little interview with all of the kids in high school, I went up to her and I was like, hey, do you rep voice actors specifically for animation? I mean, I knew that there was commercial work and narration work that was done in Vancouver as well, but I was mostly focused on animation at the time. And she was like, well, my friend is the voice agent at the agency. Send me your stuff if you have anything, and I'll forward it off to her. So I did, after a month, because I was nervous, and I put together like a 45-second sample, like a little animation voice demo and a resume with like a couple of just my high school theater credits, really. And eventually, like a month after I sent that to her, she got back to me, and we met up and we signed. And yeah, and that's kind of how it went about. The thing after that was, though, everything for the most part, when you're starting out in animation in Vancouver, or even probably in Los Angeles and New York, I'm not quite sure, is everything is done by MP3, especially when you're starting out because you don't really know anyone.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I was doing, because I didn't have a director, and I was just kind of doing this on my own, and I had no idea what they were looking for, and I didn't really have a great understanding at the time of interpreting sides. And I just kept working at it and kept working at it. And it took me, I think, like what, 3 or 4 years, like after I decided that I wanted to be a voice actor, to book my first job. So I booked my first voice gig when I was 18 years old. It was a dubbing show called The Little Prince, and I did like 3 or 4 episodes of that. We dubbed that it from French into English.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how it all really got started for me, really.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So it wasn't exactly something you had planned. It was more so just kind of running with the motions, and then, well, here you are.
Yeah, like I didn't really know what else to do. And eventually, because of my love for animation, I would look up interviews online, and I would listen to Voice Print with Trevor Duvall and guests, actually. Trevor Duvall, I think you must know Trevor Duvall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's doing great right now. I've worked with him once, and he was great. And I would get information from them for free, basically. It was amazing. And I kind of feel like I owe those guys babysitting money from when I was like 13, 14, 15 years old, honestly. And they all said to, act and to do theater and to just do as much as you can. And that's basically what I did. And through that, even though I wanted to be a voice actor because of my love for cartoons, I just fell in love with the craft of acting. And I think that's the reason why I'm still here, honestly.
It sounds like it sounds like it really had a positive influence on your life, and that's good, I think. It's good when you're starting out, you have a vision, you have a dream, and you want to shoot for it. You take all the experiences you can, you do everything you can, you pile up that resume, because the more things you have on there, the higher chance of like your credibility going up, basically.
Yeah, it's true. And people often say, like, put like 10,000 hours into it. See what happens, see how much you grow.
I don't even
Right?
put that much into Steam games, jeez. It's like, oh, thank you. I don't put 10,000 hours into Call of Duty or Team Fortress 2. That's crazy.
Right. It's over a period of time, probably. But no, I hear you, dude. Totally hear you.
So,
Yeah.
let me ask, what cartoons were your major influences growing up?
You might like this. I watched a lot of Teen Titans when I was a kid.
The original Teen
And
Titans.
yeah, the original Teen Titans.
Yeah, I
I
was a
know
Kids
you're
WB kid. I was totally there.
Yeah, totally. Same with me. And because of that, I was a really big fan of the voice work that was actually done on the show. And I ended up, funny story. I'm kind of jumping the gun here a little bit,
No
but
worries.
I found out about the Brony community through Tara Strong and I've never met her, but I followed her on Twitter because of her work on that show. And that was a show that I watched a lot through my tween years and into my teens. Really, that was like the big thing. And I mean, I watched other things too. I mean, I grew up watching a lot of anime because on Friday nights up in Canada, I don't know if you guys had this, but I think it's similar to what you guys have with Toonami. But what we had when I was growing up was on one of the channels called Bionics. On every Friday night, they would air anime for like a good 8 or 10 hours, and that's what I would watch on Friday nights.
Yeah, back then they probably had like Pokemon, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Bleach, Naruto, like all of those.
Yeah. I loved Dragon Ball Z growing up too. That was another one.
So you
Yeah.
brought up the Brony community. What are your thoughts on the Brony community now it's like movies come out, the community is like going all crazy over the movie. You get to see exactly what this community is like, because the Brony community has had a very positive reaction, I think, to the character of Timber Spruce.
Well, thank you. I like that they're so, because again, please understand that my interaction with the community has been very limited. It's just been Twitter, really, and
Oh,
it's been all
just
been
wait till you go to a con. Trust me, then you'll get head first diving into this community. Trust me on that.
fingers crossed. I mean, it'd be fun to experience. I will admit it would be a lot of fun to experience, and to meet some of these people that I've been interacting with on Twitter for sure. But it's really nice to see people who aren't afraid to express themselves, Zach. It's really nice to see, and especially with the whole masculinity thing.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, mind you, of course, I think there are so many people in the world that are afraid to express themselves because of media, and not just men, but women too. But I mean, I can only really speak for myself because I'm a guy, and the whole thing about masculinity and what it means to be a man and what you should be doing because you are a guy.
Yeah.
And that just completely goes out the window with this. And that's what I love about it. And a lot of them just aren't afraid to express themselves, and they're deeply passionate, and they're creative. I've started asking for fan art on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen, just because I want to see what else other people are doing, because a couple of my friends told me, they're like, yeah, like I searched your character name, there's a bunch of fan art, and I'm like, really? I don't know. I haven't seen anything. So that's why I posted that a couple of days ago. And it's great for people to just express themselves and find a family to connect with outside of their own homes, if that makes any sense.
It does, because My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic has been going on since 2011. 6 years later, I think the show has evolved into not just a show for little girls anymore, it's a family show. And if you think about it, a lot of us watch cartoons even when we're adults, so I think My Little Pony has managed to integrate itself into just another cartoon that we watch, and that's good, because I think that's kind of maybe what Lauren Faust had in mind with the show, just wanting to make it for everybody, not just one specific demographic.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, man, I think it's crazy, because like you wouldn't think, because I still tell people, I'm like, yeah, I was on My Little Pony, and that's kind of usually how it starts, because people ask me, okay, well, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm an actor. And then you obviously start getting the questions of like, well, what have you been in and what have you been doing? And I'll say, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm working on My Little Pony. I worked on a movie that aired on Netflix a couple months ago.
And they just give you this weird look at first, like,
Basically, yes, basically. That's how it usually starts. And I'm like, and then I'll tell them, I'm like, well, there's actually a huge fan following behind this. And then their jaws kind of drop, and it's crazy. And but it's a positive community that, especially right now with all of the stuff that's going on in the world, it's not a bad thing to have some positivity,
Indeed. Now, I've been building up to this. What are your thoughts on Timber Spruce? The guy you played in the movie. Yes, here we go. Might as well dive into this.
Here we go.
Because you were given the script, you were given a character. You probably did not know much about the show at the time, because it was probably just a character. But what did you think as you developed your character through recording, and how the end product came out, if you saw like the finished product?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I didn't think I did a very good job in the audition.
What?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I didn't think I was I walked out of there I called my buddy up and was like, who's also an actor. And I said, yeah, man, I don't think I did a great job. Just that day, it wasn't a bad audition. It just wasn't my best. And that's just how I felt. And like months later, Zach, I get a call out of the blue being like, oh yeah, here's the script. You record in a week or like 2 weeks, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's just kind of how it all really started. Because when you audition, right, you kind of just forget about the roles that you audition for. Just kind of, that's the way that you protect yourself, right?
Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a question I was saving as a bonus, because why the heck not? We're having a chill conversation. How does it feel knowing that Timber Spruce, the character that you play, has got more game on Twilight than Flash Sentry did?
Vincent Tong is going to find me after this, and he's going to kidnap me, and I'm like, you're not going to hear from me again. Like, that's what's going to happen. No, I love the guy. He's my buddy. He was really nice. Just a really quick little thing. Everyone was so nice when I got to the studio on the first day of recording.
That's good.
Everyone was so open and so accepting. And like, again, props to Ishi Riddell and Katrina Hadley. I really hope I pronounced those right. They were great, and they were just so fun to work with. What's it like to have more of a... I don't know. Do I have more of a...
Well, if you look at the movie, Timber Spruce gets really, really, really close. A lot further, I think, than Flash did, if that's my understanding. And I think that was more of a moment that split a lot of people, because you probably know about the whole waifu stealer thing, or like all that.
I didn't know what that meant. Yeah, no, I didn't know what that meant. Like, someone said that to me on the day of recording. They're like, yeah, everyone's going to be mad at you for stealing your waifu. And I was like... I don't know what that is, and
stealing your girl, basically, because everybody loves Twilight and everybody ships Twilight and Flash. They think they're the greatest thing ever. Then Timber comes along and throws all that out of whack.
Uh, well, I love the guy. And I mean, I'm also a little biased because I play him, but I love the guy. And I mean, you think about, like, I mean, first of all, too, it's like I would never be able to pull off green hair.
No.
Right? That's the thing. Like, I don't know who can pull out, like, I couldn't pull off green hair.
There's some crazy people out there that probably could.
Oh, probably, sure, yes, of course. But I'm so sorry, dude. What was your question?
Okay, well,
I'm kind of all over the place.
The joke question aside, like, what was, like, I guess the process of you developing Timber, you know, having fun with it. On the
Right.
side, were you, like, in a room by yourself, or were you with everyone else while they were recording?
I was with everyone except for Tara,
Ah,
who I've never met because she records out of LA.
right.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good, though, I think, to record with a lot of people, too, because it's a
Yeah.
better atmosphere. You have a lot more fun with it.
Yeah, and you mean you get to feed off of everyone's energy, which
Yeah.
is great. You know, that was what I really appreciated. And what was really nice was sometimes if I had a scene with Twilight and it was just me and Twilight, um, Tabitha or Nicole Oliver would read Twilight's lines with me in the scene, just to give me something to work off of. And it was really, really nice. It really helped, I found, when working, especially with a character that I hadn't really played before, right? Especially on the first day.
Right.
And then just finding moments throughout the session to make him, you know, pop and make him unique and make him a genuine human being.
Yeah, make him cool, make him stand out, have a good personality, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And like I think, what else? I think that my understanding was that because they were very, very afraid that he would come across as really creepy. So we were really trying to find that fine line of not making him like a total creep and actually making him genuine and making him friendly. I'm honestly, dude, like I'm quite proud of the work that was done on that show. I watched it actually when it came out, and it was really nice. What else do I think about Timber Spruce? I mean, he's a lot like me in the sense that he's a bit of a dork.
Yes.
Like, what kind of person would say, "Oh, here's a cool lantern. Mine's my face." What kind of person writes freaking face on his lantern? But he's a bit of a dork. I find him to be a little bit. I think he's cooler than I am, honestly. I think that he's in some ways a lot more confident with dating and asking people out than I am. And what else? I just overall I really like playing him, and I really like that we got to know him. And something that I could really get behind was the fact that he was doing, and here, spoiler alert, everything that he was doing was to protect his sister.
Right.
You know, and I have a sister that I'm really close to.
So it's
And
relatable.
yeah, it's very relatable, and that's what he was doing. He was everything that he was doing first and foremost was to protect her, and to be there for her. And you see that throughout the movie, and it was really nice, and it was really well animated. And again, Enid Ray Adams killed it. I mean, even in the studio when she was recording, she did a great job. Yeah. Does that answer your question? I ramble a lot.
I think that nailed it, top of the head, straight down into the ground. I think that got it right. Now, this is a question that I think I've noticed, like, at some cons. Usually in the con announcements, they have the person that they're announcing, like, have a pony form. Like, you see that with Tara, you see that with Andrea, you see that with Tabitha, you see that with all sorts of other voice actors and guests they get. But if you could have your own pony, what would they look like?
Well,
you don't have to design the entire thing right now. Just a general idea.
Someone's going to design fan art.
I have a lot of fans. I'm pretty sure that one of them right now, as we're talking, is getting out a notepad and just like,
yeah,
yes,
probably,
yes.
yeah. That probably takes the cake as the hardest question of the day, and we're not even done yet.
We got like 4 more, so it's whatever.
It's a good question though. No, it's a great question. I like it. I'm really into plaid right now. I really like plaid shirts. I have this like I'm wearing it right now as we speak. I was wearing it. I took it off because it's really hot in my house, but It's like a red kind of navy blue plaid, and it's really, really cool. And I like that sort of thing. That's kind of my thing. I mean, before I was really into hoodies.
Oh
Um,
yes.
I don't think I could pull off the green hair. So, but I really, really like a nice royal blue. So maybe I mean I don't even know if I can pull off royal blue, honestly, dude. But like some sort of thing like that, maybe if that makes any sense. Yeah, I don't. Does that answer your question?
Well, let's see. Would you be an Earth pony, a Pegasus, or a unicorn?
Oh, okay. An earth pony. So like an earth pony,
An Earth pony
like
is just your basic pony. Pegasus has wings, and a unicorn has horn.
right. Okay. I go with the wings. I
Mm,
go with the wings. Flying is great. I'd love to fly. I'd love to fly. Yeah, I'll go with that. Sorry, what were they called again?
Pegasi.
Pegasi. Yes, I go with that. I'd really, really, I'd like that. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Pegasi. Did you have any colors in mind?
Mm,
Because you were talking about plaid before, like a plaid hoodie, something like that.
yeah. So some sort of okay, a plaid hoodie. Why don't we put them together? Yeah. Okay. Why not? Um, yeah, some sort of plaid hoodie. Maybe some sort of blue hair even. Like why not blue hair?
Blue mane. All
Um,
right, all right.
yeah,
And what would like the base color of say the fur be?
Furby. Furby.
No, not that Furby.
Maybe not those kind of Furbies, but what else? What kind of fur? What kind of fur would I have? Like, okay, well, what about some sort of like baby blue? What about
Hmm.
that? Yeah,
Blue, baby blue, and like navy blue or
baby
something.
blue and navy blue. I don't know. Do you think that would work? I
No,
think that
I'm
would.
I'm putting this in my head. I'm literally writing this all down
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So,
I was like, and I appreciate you walking me through this.
of
I do.
course, yeah, of course. See, like the good thing about it is that when it comes to designing OCs, I know a ton of people that can do that. But anyway, that's for something later. Let's let's get back to the interview. All right. So, what do you do on your days off when you're away from the mic?
What do I do other than sleeping and napping and watching Netflix, right?
Ah, that's the American dream right there.
That's like all I do, really. And eat copious amounts of ice cream and pizza.
Oh,
Right.
what is your favorite ice cream?
I'm really into. I really like fruit. Like
Mm,
I'm a fruit guy. So like blueberry cheesecake is one of my things.
that's a thing. I did
Um,
not know that was a thing.
yeah, it's a thing. Like we have like these in Vancouver. We have these. I don't even know, like organic or even vegan. Like there's vegan ice cream places in Vancouver. I don't know if that's something that is a thing throughout like the states.
Hmm.
I don't get vegan ice cream. It's not really my thing, but it's a good choice for people that are vegan. And but yeah, you can order like a blueberry cheesecake if you want to. I've been really into because my house is right by a gas station right now, so I've been getting a lot of Ben and Jerry's.
Ah, Ben and Jerry's.
So like the half baked, and there's like this, oh, I don't know I don't remember what it was called. It was like this, it's like dairy free, but it's this peanut butter vanilla. It's like a peanut butter PB&J is what it's called, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do I do? Um Binge watching Netflix right now. I'm binge watching How to Get Away with Murder. I'm really, really liking that. I absolutely adore Viola Davis. I think she's great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What else do I do? I walk the seawall a lot, which is such a typical cop-out Vancouver answer, but it's really, really nice, especially this time of year. And lately I've been doing a lot of board game nights and movie nights with friends, honestly,
Hmm.
which has been really, really fun. And just to get to hang out with them and just go out and have a drink if you know if we're available, and that's really nice too. Um, yeah, my life isn't that interesting, mind you. Like it's not.
You're a voice actor and you got to be a My Little Pony. I'd say that's pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Now, what keeps you motivated to keep doing what you do, whether it be just voice acting or hell, even getting out of bed?
What motivates me to get out of bed? The idea that I don't, the idea that I have so much still to learn, I think, is a really big thing. Um, because you're always constantly learning and growing as a person, and as an actor as well, I think. You know, and challenging yourself to just be present and um, listen to other people, I think, is a really, really big thing. Yeah. Does that help? Does that
I would
answer
say
your
that
question?
does. I think
Yeah.
people have different forms of motivation, and it's doesn't matter exactly how big or small that the source of that motivation is. Because, like me, for example, I suffer from depression, but like
Right.
motivation comes and goes in many different forms. Whether it's when I'm reading a comment from a fan, or whether I'm talking with my friends, or there's something going on in the world that I want to talk about. You know, motivation, it differs from person to person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I hear you. Cause I have a bit of a like I haven't like gone to see like a therapist. I don't mind talking about this.
Right, right.
But I sometimes wake up with a very, very big, heavy uh weight on my shoulders
Yeah.
sometimes. And I get it. It can be really it can suck. So I totally hear you, man. And I think knowing that things are going to be okay, even though that in the moment that I am feeling crappy, just in that present moment, I think is a really I think that I find that really helps me. Breathing really helps me as well with that sort of thing.
Meditating too.
Yeah, meditating. I listen to a lot of music. I'm really into. Oh, this is another thing that I do in my spare time. I like listening to a cappella music, actually.
Ah,
Yeah.
I love listening to that too. I think like pentatonics definitely comes to mind when I think of acapella music.
I'm gonna send you something after this interview, just a song that I found that I really, really like.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, and it's helped me out a little bit over the last couple of days, and yeah, I think just knowing that things are gonna be okay, and just taking a moment to just center yourself and to ground yourself, because I find especially we get so caught up in our hustle and bustle of our daily lives, especially when we're really busy, that we forget to kind of take a moment for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I find, well, that's just my personal experience with it, and to just take a moment to just breathe and just kind of, as you said, meditate and just kind of be in your own, just be present with you. I've actually honestly found that really helps me in just slowing down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always hard. I think when you're so caught up with what you're doing, it helps to just stop and sort of just take things in, because it is good to keep moving forward. But every once in a while, you need to recharge.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Oh, I hear you, and I'm learning that. I'm slowly but surely learning that in my life. Yeah, I hear you.
So the last question I have here, this is a question that my friend Lightning Bliss posed, I believe, to Peter New, and I've started using this question more because I feel this is it's a very important question. There are people out there who say that voice acting is not a real job. What would you say to people who have that perspective?
Um, well, I mean, it's funny that you ask that, because I get a lot of the question that I get. I'm kind of going on a bit of a tangent,
No, no, no,
but
dude, go ahead.
it's I get asked a lot. Oh, you do voice work. You do voice work for animation. Do you do real acting as well? And that's the question that drives me nuts.
Hmm.
Because it's the same thing. I'm just behind a microphone. I'm not in front of a camera. And that drives me up the wall. If I'm being honest. But my response to that, people saying that it's not a real job, I'm like, well, you know, if you're passionate about this, and you work really hard, and you're honest with your, excuse me, if you're honest with yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, I think you can make it a reality if you work really hard. And I just kind of, honestly, with people like that, I've just learned to just ignore them, because they're not really worth my time, if I'm being completely honest.
No, I get
Um,
you.
yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, cause like, my I'm having a great time. I love what I do. you know, and it's the same thing with like what the bronies are passionate about. It's like, well, yeah, if you love what you do and you find um, sanctuary and comfort in what you're doing, keep doing it. If it makes you feel safe and it makes you happy, keep doing it. You know, and don't worry about what they think, because what they think really doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the philosophy. They're not put. They don't have. They're not putting food in your mouth. They're not putting a roof over your head. They're not paying your
Yeah.
bills. In that case, they don't matter.
Yeah, they don't matter.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
So I think that nicely wraps all of this up. First off, Brian, thank you so much for taking time out of your. Well, you didn't really have much of a schedule for me
I
to say
don't.
this,
I
but
have
I'll say it
nothing to do
anyway.
today
Thank you for
other than
taking
this.
time out of your schedule to do this interview. It was a real chill thing, and
Yeah,
it
man.
is a pleasure doing this with you. As I said, I think previously, you did an amazing job on Legend of Everfree, and we hopefully, you get to see Timber back for maybe another special. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Fingers crossed. But
Yeah,
thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And just to really quickly, if you don't mind me just saying one thing,
of course.
just to all the bronies, thank you so much for welcoming me into your community, because it's been a really warm welcome. Thank you so much. So that's all I have to say.
All right. So,
Cool.
with that being said, I am ToonKritic, keeping you totally tuned for your entertainment. Thank you for listening, and stay awesome.